Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back once again. It's me, Molt. Super stoked to be with you guys today. We got an awesome video for y'all today. So I did a little bit of a video interview with the guys from the Clash Mini team over on their Discord. If you guys haven't checked out their Discord or their Twitter or their social handles, make sure that you guys do that. But we recorded a pretty cool interview, and this is some video and conversation footage from that. So hope you guys enjoy. Let's get into it.
Jump right into it.
Yeah.
So let us introduce ourselves first, since we've been here from time to time, and then introduce our special host, basically, of this stage channel. So I'm Vlad, community manager of Clash Mini, and
I'm Andy, game designer of Clash Mini.
and we have
What's up?
what's up, Molt? Long time no speak.
Yeah, for
So-
real.
Can you introduce yourself to our Clash Mini community, just in case guys haven't seen some of your YouTube videos so far?
Yeah, so my name is Molt. I've been posting supercell content for about 8 years now. I started off with Clash of Clans a long time ago, and then moved over to Clash Royale, which is kind of my main game, which I've been leaning into and just loved. And then I fell in love with the auto chess genre when that first came out, and then when I saw that Clash Mini kind of had some similarities to it, I was pretty excited about it.
Nice, awesome. Well, I mean, yeah, you've been. The moment we announced the game, you basically went on Twitter and you were like, "Thank you, Supercell." That was your first. Remember, so that was amazing. So yeah, but would you classify yourself as a competitive player at the moment?
I'm competitive to a certain extent. I definitely like to win, but I think I like to be creative more than I like to win, if that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. And that's something that actually Clash Mini is trying to also target at. We're trying to kind of open up people's ideas and opinions on like how do they become creative with their minis and decks and all that.
Yeah.
But actually, we've been teasing a certain feature in this stage channel.
Yeah.
And I am a kind of guy that wants to just jump right into the tease
Go
and
for
the
it.
actual feature. So, season reset.
Yeah.
Molt, you have many questions about this. So let's begin. What is it? I think the first person to explain the basics of the season reset, and we can just go from there,
Yeah.
would be Andy, because Andy is one of the game designers that worked on this for a long time.
Yeah.
It is actually a feature that we have not seen in other games
Yeah.
to a degree that Clash Mini introduces it.
Mm-hmm.
So, Andy, what is it?
Okay, so you guys out there, you've all seen the stars on your minis, right? And you kind of have this idea that there are seasons in games. You have a ranked season. You have at the end you'll have your final ranking, and you'll get rewards and prizes based on that stuff. But in Mini, we're taking that a step further.
Yeah.
So what we're going to do is we're going to take the progress that you've made with your minis and the stars that you've collected for those guys, and we're going to cash those in for more prizes. So you're going to keep the mini. If you've collected a mini, you keep it forever. But the stars, we're going to reduce those back, and we're going to cash those in for prizes. And the kind of things you can expect to get are lots and lots of currencies, heroes, gems, exclusives. It will give you back more minis for the next season, but the caveat is, for the next season, we're going to be changing a lot of the upgrades so that you get a new, fresh experience with the introduction of also new minis and new heroes.
Yeah.
So it's going to be a big package of here's a lot of stuff, and here's a lot of new gameplay for you guys to go and figure out and play with and figure out what's the best decks again and who does what and whatever. So it's a lot about adaptation, but also just giving you guys a massive boost of progress at the same time, permanent progress at the same time.
Yeah. I think that sounds great. Like you said, that's something that we haven't ever seen really in a game before. And I think it allows you to kind of upgrade without too much regret, knowing that at the next season, maybe something that you had spent on a certain unit that you end up not liking, or maybe it doesn't fit into your certain play style, you'll be able to get those back at the beginning of the next season and kind of shift up your play style or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And we're hoping like adaptation and being able to read the strategy of an opponent and read the deck building strategy of the entire meta is something that we really value in Mini. And to keep the game interesting long term, we want to keep that quite fluid and dynamic so that you always have something new and something fresh to figure out with the game.
Yeah.
So next question would be then, I guess naturally, so you would upgrade your minis to a 3-star, right? They have all of their 3-star upgrades upgraded, and then a new season begins. We do not have any timeline on like how long the season is going to last in beta yet, because we need to see.
Yeah.
So that is something that obviously we will be testing together with everybody in the community.
Right.
But then, so how does that visualize at the end of the season?
So at the end of the season, we're going to take your whole collection of minis, and for every star that you've got, we're going to take that star and put it into a star chest. And that star chest charges up, and it gets bigger and bigger, and you get more and more and more rewards the more stars you unlocked from minis in the previous season.
Right.
So, and that's kind of why minis are so fast to unlock their upgrades and so have such a short progression. We really want you guys to figure out what is the best deck for you at the time that you're playing. So if you don't have all the stars of all the minis, you have to sort of cobble together and piece together the best deck that you can and the thing that's going to win for you there. And then you unlock and collect more minis, and you get more options. And then at the end of the season, we're going to, after you've used all those options and used those things a lot, hopefully, we're going to cash them all in, give you your star chest, give you loads and loads of stuff, and let you progress with the permanent progression, like the skins and the heroes and stuff. That will not get reset. None of that stuff gets reset.
Right.
Anything that you have, and actually that's the thing, anything that you could actually spend gems or money on in this game will not be reset. It's only the free stuff. It's only stuff like minis.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I think that's going to help out people in so many different ways, especially free-to-play players. I think that's probably one of the biggest questions that everybody always gets when it comes to games. And so the fact that you don't feel like you wasted upgrading something one season, and the next season you can, again, follow the meta, follow your certain play style, I think is going to be really, really big for people. Yeah,
and it's going to put people back on the same, strategically and both in terms of resources, it's going to put people on the same footing at the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's going to be back at a similar level, and it's fair game for everybody to take the top spot from there.
Well, actually, speaking of the same footing, I am in a. Obviously, our game does have leagues. I think we acknowledge that. We are actually in a stage where we are producing visual assets and kind of how do we represent people being in a certain league. These are the leagues in any way connected to the season reset then?
Yes, leagues are connected to the season reset. So for most of the lower leagues, you're not going to be impacted at all. You're going to progress, and you're going to keep your progress, and you're going to keep your we have trophies now as rank points, so you're going to keep your trophies. But when you get to the highest levels, you're going to start seeing reset impact your league rank as well. Mm-hmm. So it's going to impact your trophies. So if you're, let's say, maybe diamond or above, so diamond is I think, somewhere around 10, league number 10 out of 15. Mm-hmm. So if you're diamond, master, grandmaster, or legend, what you're going to see is you're going to get reset back to the start of your current tier. So if you've made some progress, you'll get a little bit of it reset, and you'll have to kind of start again. For legend, it's going to be, I guess, the biggest impact, because what we want to do is we want to take... Legend is limitless in terms of how much rank you can actually gain. So you could, after you get to legend, you can have 5,000, 7,000, 1 million rank points, we're going to reset everybody back to Grandmaster at the end of the season. Mm-hmm. So you have to get yourself back to Legend, back to that top 1,000 leaderboard, and back in contention to be the number one player in the world.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, using challenge coins, one of the things that we've already discussed with the community here in Discord, and that's been actually a direct response to the feedback about the challenge coin, is that us introducing the win streak and kind of optimizing the way of like people getting challenge coins, being able to climb the ladder and the leader like just leagues as much as they can if they're good at the game. Okay, so that is the relation to the season reset. Mm-hmm. In addition to the season reset, I guess that is going to also mark a major game update.
It could do.
It could. Okay.
So it depends. Like you've been saying, for beta, our focus is definitely going to be on features.
Yeah.
So what you're probably going to see is a little bit longer seasons at the beginning, and we're going to give you a big boon of features at the end of the season.
Yeah.
We're not actually going to fix ourselves on a timeline because the first feature that we're going to be implementing is quite a whopper, I would say. So the first thing we're planning is clans, mini clans, and some. We're hoping to also get like a special clan activity for you guys. Mm-hmm. So we'll see how that actually pans out. We might not be able to deliver it in a reasonable timeline, mm-hmm. but we'll definitely give you clans in some sort of a reasonable timeline.
Nice.
That's going to take a little bit of time. So yeah, but apart from that, like once we're in the rhythm and we're in the flow as a team and we're getting our updates and we've got this massive first update out, we should be able to reset seasons probably on a 2 to 3 months kind of scale. That's what we're looking at right now. Yeah. And if that doesn't turn what you guys need, we're flexible on changing it, and we'll be dropping new content, new minis, new heroes, new skins, new boards, new everything's with season updates. Yeah. Once we're in that content updating mode. Yeah. I've really got to caution that you're probably not going to see, as a player base, you're probably not going to see too many new minis and mini heroes until we get the features in the game.
Right.
So how's this making you all feel, Molt?
Oh man, like I'm so excited. I'm just excited to see what you guys do. I know that I've got some questions from fans and viewers as well of things that they're interested in. So I'd love to hear if y'all could mention some stuff on those. Like you kind of talked about it with season reset. Obviously, in these types of games, the ladder is something that people really lean into. They love the competitiveness of the ladder. They like pushing to be number one. But everybody needs a break from that, mentally, and sometimes it's just exhausting. So like, I think people would love to know the goals that you guys have for different game modes to give people a break, to maybe challenge their friends, or even one thing that I was excited about. I know that Supercell has always been a fan of very quick games. Like the 3-minute game was kind of coined by Supercell, the very quick games. Are there any plans to make a game mode where, say, you do more than 3 matches? Maybe you play, I don't know, best out of 9 or best out of 15, and it maybe takes like 15 to 20 minutes to win.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the thing is, we're very open. In terms of game modes, we're super open to fulfilling the needs of players. So we're not too precious about like, it has to be one way or another.
Right.
We want to give the player base what they're looking for. So if something like a longer form match is something that would interest you guys, that's definitely something. It's something I have on my list of things. Like maybe it's a big deck thing. You have like maybe more minis, more, longer rounds. Maybe there's a draft format that you guys can have that's a little bit more interesting in terms of what you can take into a match, and then you play it out a little bit more. Maybe there's something even like I don't know, like an arena style thing, or a roguelike style mode where you progressively build a deck as you play matches.
Yeah.
maybe there's something like that. So what I love about the design of Mini is that there's a lot of options, and we're super open to it. Right now, we don't have a huge amount of extra game modes.
Yeah.
We've gone really the game modes because we wanted to focus on just getting the systems, getting the meta, getting the progression down, and giving ourselves space to adjust to what the community wants.
Right, which obviously is the most important core part of the game, is to get all of that stuff functioning as best as it can. And honestly, I don't like people. It takes a while for people to get kind of overwhelmed with the competitive nature of a game. Like, you're excited when a game first comes out. You want to play as much as you can. You want to try and push. And so obviously you guys have the right mindset to kind of pursue that and kind of get that to a really solid state before pursuing those game modes. But I'm excited to know that you guys have that on your docket to look forward to being creative, because one of my favorite things is when game developers don't take themselves too seriously and they just have fun with it. And I think that really generates the best type of gameplay for people.
Yeah, absolutely. I think the team's having a lot of fun right now making the game, and I for one am a huge proponent of interfacing with the community, as everybody in the community kind of probably already knows by now. I've been very active in Discord. I've been active with the creators group so far as well. Well, a little bit active, I would say. But yeah, I really want to keep that going and know what everybody wants from the game, because how can we make it amazing what everybody wants if we're not listening? And I intend to listen a lot.
Yep. And that's exactly what happened to the challenge coin, as I said. Even without anybody playing the game.
Yeah.
Like, I created a minute explaining challenge coin, and then suddenly the discussion just started, and we had like a week or 2 week long discussion about challenge coin internally on Discord, everywhere, and even with creators such as Molt, obviously. And it's like everybody were like, "Yeah, you need some changes to the challenge coin," and we were like, "All right, yeah, I get it. Yeah, sure. Let's consider something."
I'm into it. The design wasn't as good as it could have been. I won't call it trash, but it was limiting, maybe unnecessarily limiting.
Yeah.
So I guess I can I let the cat out of the bag that Molt has played the game?
Of course, Molt has.
So yeah, Molt was, and some of the other creators did help us with testing the game.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of feedback from them, and they didn't unfortunately get to play the build with the win streak coins in it.
Yeah.
So you guys had the most restricted version of the game, and you didn't even have that many quests and stuff as well. So
right,
it was very flat, I think, but you still seemed to enjoy it. So that was really, really encouraging. And then your feedback on the challenge coin is super valuable to us, and we really do take that on board.
Yeah. I mean, like, obviously, there is a big advantage towards being a supercell creator. And so, like, we always wanted to kind of do the early game testing. We did the same thing with, similar thing to Clash Heroes. Mm-hmm. So, full disclosure, I mean, everybody knows that because we tweeted about it. But, like, we do early testing and collecting feedback as soon as we can. But there is definitely, like, obviously, we sit down and we have, like, these focus sessions where we dedicate, like, a week or so, like just talking to people and, like, gathering as much feedback as we can and then react to it as much as we can as soon as possible. And so, yeah, it's obvious that we're on track to get the best game that we can based on everybody's feedback, including Discord, including creators and everybody.
Mm-hmm.
So, how did you... Since everybody now knows that you played it, how did you feel about the game? So you can be...
Man, I loved it. I kind of had... I may or may not have had a timer set to when I would get those extra coins. I was number one in the thing for the entire time. Like, I wasn't letting anybody take my spot. I loved it, and it was fun figuring out, like, seeing some of the RNG of placement and things like that as you played, because I think a little bit of luck is good in games because it makes you I don't know, like you get excited when you're like, nice, I placed that thing perfectly. Now, obviously, there is a lot of skill in that as well, but there is some randomness too. So it was just a lot of fun. I loved facing people. I loved seeing all of the different units that all of us know from the Supercell IP, but also seeing the new ones that you guys have come up with. Some of which felt a little strong at first, but as you figured out how to counter them, it was like, okay, that's not that bad. And so I know that myself and fans and everyone are excited to see the new things that all you guys over at Clash Mini create for the game. Like, obviously we love the OG barbarians and the archers. But seeing the healing maiden and things like that, it's like, oh, that's a new character that we've never seen. Is just it's really exciting. Like, I know that all of us are really excited to see the things that you guys come up with that truly are unique characters that the Supercell universe hasn't created yet.
And a little sneak peek for everyone on Discord that are listening live. Mini Minute episode 10 will be revealing something pretty cool. So that's a small sneak peek regarding a unique part of Clash Mini, because I think as we kind of make Mini Minute more mature, we want to also focus on like to go deeper into what makes Clash Mini unique versus how is it the same.
It's actually a really difficult thing in the design of the game, and I think Fan has done a great job with the minis and the heroes. Because we do have to pay homage to Clash, to Royale and Clash Clans. That's something that we've been trying to be to honor the heritage that we have, but we also have to make things fit to the kind of game that we are, and we bring something new to the table. So it really makes me happy to hear that you enjoyed it and you saw some new stuff and you liked what you saw and you're craving more of the new things from us.
I mean, we even saw that with Clash Royale coming out with the bowler, and then Clash of Clans using the bowler, even though Clash of Clans was the original. So, hey, maybe Mini comes out with something that the other two adopt in updates. I feel like that'd be a pretty cool achievement for you guys.
That would be awesome. Like, I'd love to see some of our... I mean, people have... they have seen things like... I guess they've seen Vampire Countess. So... maybe she might appear in some other game. This ability there, maybe.
There's a lot of things that we can cross promote and cross pollinate on games. But I think the first step would be to go past beta.
Oh yeah. I don't think anyone's. That's it. Yeah, we're putting the cart before the horse a little bit.
Yeah,
here.
I love it.
But we're very we're focused on making this a success. So I guess it's. Maybe you guys can forgive me for thinking a little bit further.
Oh, no. I do that, too.
Awesome.
But so...
More questions, by the way.
Sorry, what?
Fire away, man.
Oh, yeah.
Any
So, along the lines of characters, in Clash of Clans, we have characters that, like the heroes that have abilities and whatnot. We see that in Brawl Stars as well. In Clash Royale, there aren't really hero abilities or synergies or anything like that. Are there any goals to add more depth to the minis in regards to the way that they maybe buff each other or interact with each other or have abilities and things like that? Like anything to go deeper than just a unit that may be coded to automatically fight or react,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is, again, it goes back to the idea that this is the first look that people are going to have on the game. So we want to have it as fairly straightforward. So we haven't seen too much, but we have tested so many different things in the background in the time that we've been developing the game. So we have a pretty robust catalog of things that we can introduce. So, and that's essentially where the season reset comes in. We'll be expanding the mechanics of the game as we introduce new minis, new things, new mechanics, new keywords, new everything into the game. There will be times when minis do directly synergize. We it's we have to figure out how much we want to do of that,
right?
Because what we've tried in the past has almost always led to decks being made for you. It's like you have there are combinations that exist, and you either use the combinations or you lose.
Yeah.
It's very, like, it makes deck building very, very streamlined in one way, but it makes the game a little bit less interesting in another, and all of the possibilities are a little bit limited. The more you hook minis in together, we do want to try and do it a bit more, like have mechanics synergize and whatnot, and mini synergize. But we'll see.
Yeah. I mean, I think one of the ideas is also not to go overboard, where you're like, oh man, if you don't drop a mini barbarian next to a barbarian king, they're not gonna buff each other, and then guess what? You're gonna on like 5% extra damage or whatever, right? Yeah. It's like that kind of like, I don't know if that's like the way that the game should be right away, or like having these kind of synergy kind of need to tie you to like certain deck building mechanics, as you mentioned.
Right.
But I mean, to be fair, like, you know, like I think we've done such a like good groundwork job of like, okay, if you do put mini barbarian next to a barbarian, they will get buffed from each other, right? Like, because you know, like barbarian does have his shout, he's gonna buff the damage, you know, like, and then the mini barbarian is gonna benefit from it. Same thing with Archer Queen, right? Like she gives the speed increase buff to the ranged units.
Right.
So if you do have ranged units right next to her, like Archer, you are going to get benefits from that. So I think that is the philosophy, right? Like there is no direct like synergy where you're like, if you don't make this combo, you lost. But if you do make smart choices, you are rewarded in terms of positioning, in terms of timing, and like repositioning as well in each match.
There could be, in the future, we've talked about in the past, we've talked about bringing in the idea that maybe there are things that trigger when certain abilities trigger. So things that sort of link up with each other. So if a character gets stunned, maybe some other characters rush and charge and attack that character who's been stunned, and drop what they're doing and just attack that one. You know, you piggyback on top of a mechanic that exists in a broader sense, and then get other minis and other units to double down on that thing in some way. And we can, you know, there's all sorts of possibilities that we can have. It can be with Dissipate, it can be with Stun, it can be with any of the mechanics that exist or will exist in the game.
Right.
We'll figure something out that might be interesting. But yeah, making it not broken is definitely a thing.
All right, guys, that's where we are going to end this one. I hope that y'all enjoyed the conversation that we had and all the clips and all that kind of stuff. Make sure that you guys comment down below any questions that you might have for the game as well. And I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.